Hey Huntley, today we are going to be doing a lesson on anxiety. It's an important topic. It's one of those topics that a lot of people don't talk about, and they don't understand the need to want to talk about it. But the reality is, and especially at your age, but even just in adults, period, and adolescents, we struggle with recognizing anxiety, understanding what it is, and understanding how we can cope with it. So today's lesson really is going to cover three main things. One, anxiety versus an anxiety disorder, and being able to recognize it. Two, coping strategies and mechanisms to be able to help you when you start to experience the anxiety. And then three, just additional resources, both in school, outside of school, that you have access to, that when you need help, when you need to be able to just kind of talk it out with somebody, you kind of know who to go to. Just a little bit about me personally. Believe it or not, anxiety is real. I struggle with it from time to time. I wasn't always the person that can walk in front of a student body of 3,000. Or even in front of large groups. I was actually growing up pretty shy, believe it or not. But usually when I was faced with situations where I had to either give a presentation, especially taking tests, standardized tests, taking the ACT and things like that, like I really struggled, and the level of anxiety rose with inside of me, and I really didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't accept it as anxiety. I just felt like, okay, I'm just nervous. And that's just a natural thing, and people just told me it's natural to be nervous about stuff. And I later believed that it wasn't being nervous. It really was the anxiety. I started to think differently. I started to second guess myself. I started to sweat. I felt like my heart was beating out of my chest. And even to this day, when I'm put in situations where I have to be uncomfortable, I find myself having to just take a step back, take a deep breath, and say, you know what, I got this. And where my level of confidence has come from in terms of working through and how I cope with being with the anxiety when it comes is just knowing that I can be myself. I know that I can kind of talk myself through certain things. And if I don't, I mean, what do I have to lose? I go out there, I do what I need to do with no regret, and I have fun doing it. And so that's why I'm able to be comfortable walking in front of people. I'm okay being able to go and sit down and take a test and do what I need to do, just because the worst that can happen is I got to retake it. One real quick story. Believe it or not, my anxiety really was at a high in high school. I took the ACT 2 times. I got a 17 both times. I was denied from 10 colleges and universities within the state schools, but got accepted to Bradley because somebody took a chance on me because they saw all of the other things that I was involved in and what I did. And I let that test really stress me out because people talked about it so much that I was nervous. I wasn't ready to take it, but I knew I had to do it. And so the level of anxiety was really at its peak for me in high school. And once I learned that I can work through that, I look at where I am now and what I'm doing now and the path that I've taken, and I didn't let a test define me, but it was something that I had to really work through and think about. And that was just one of those pivotal moments in high school that I can remember that took me to where I want to be. So as you go through this lesson, I really want you to pay attention, play close attention, because it's not a problem or an issue that other people aren't dealing with. It's just really figuring out that, one, you recognize it, two, you know how to cope with it, and three, you have resources and that are available to you, so that if you don't know how to deal with it or want to get started and want to figure it out, you have those resources. So please take your time to listen, pay attention, ask questions if you have them, and seek the help that you need, because the reality is it's in all of us, and we just have to first recognize it. So enjoy the presentation.